That's all. Shriner, all
As
that
he
stuff.
as he's taught me, the European has never created anything.
No,
they just copy it.
Yes, and I have no reason to say this. I'm fair skinned. Like this is true. Like it's on their pages. The Shriners literally have they say it's Moorish revival. I mean, like, come on. So I started looking up Moorish revival in America. There's Tampa, Florida. There's Moorish revival in Tampa, Florida. The Alamo. You can go look up the Alamo. They believe that it was built by the people of the descendants of the Almoravids or the Almohads. I don't know which one. I might be wrong on the caliphate. You might have to vet me. But as far as the geographical locations, like you were saying, there's Mecca, California, Medina, Washington, Chicago. Like Taj Tariq Bey said, is our Mecca. They've just scrambled stuff around. You know what I'm saying? So there's Lebanon, New Hampshire, Damascus, Maryland, Baghdad, Florida, Alexandria, Virginia, Cairo, Illinois, Bethlehem, New Hampshire.
On behalf of Akuno Sankofa Bay, you know what I'm saying? Jay, where you at? We're trying to help our people elevate. Hope. HOPE. We're giving them hope. We doing what we gotta do, you know. Every day, one step at a time, man. We're gonna make it happen. Helping our people elevate. Yeah. Sometimes I practice focus, thought, and meditate. I'm trying to come with other ways to help our people elevate and seeking knowledge, make me levitate. The lifted mental state is what results from how we orchestrate. This for the family's sake. Let's self-reflect and self-evaluate. And every day, make sure the steps you take, you calculate. Receive a master's fate. I know I can't exist without the hate, but that's okay. I balance that with higher self today. Success is on this way, and after that, my flesh can pass away.
All right, peace and love, family. I'm back with another one. This to Helping Our People Elevate YouTube channel. Today I got another special more with me today. I got a brother who I've been building with this brother for the last couple of weeks here lately. It's been a little longer than that, but these last couple of weeks we've been sitting down building and we've been having some great discussions. And I insisted that I get this brother on my platform. You know, I ain't gonna say I insisted, but I did. I asked the brother to come on here. You know what I mean? Because I want y'all to hear the information this brother's gonna have to present. And so, without holding y'all, go ahead, brother. Tell the people who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you from?
Hello, I'm Taaraz El-Mughbir Saeed, formerly known as the Real T Seals. I'm from Tulsa, Oklahoma, north side of Tulsa, Oklahoma. More so Pine Peoria. You know, speaking Tulsa, Oklahoma slang, I rather say by the old Albertsons, which is now I don't know what grocery store it is now, but it's Popeyes, YMCA, Berry Park, which is, you know, all that. Not actually Berry Park. What is it called? BC. Everybody used to call it BC back in the day, which is now the Thunder Park by Seminole. Yeah. So I used to walk to KIPP. I went to KIPP Tulsa middle school. I went to KIPP Tulsa in middle school. I went to Booker T. Washington for a short period of time. Was always in the drum line. So I'm not gonna say I grew up in a what you call a black culture, but looking back at it now, I grew up in a black culture, which we all know, which I know now is made up. It's corporate fiction at that. So, which is really just traditions that Aboriginals and also our brothers and sisters that came over from Northwest Africa and amalgamated themselves with us over here that we share, which is, you know, playing the drums, other things like that. Like I'm speaking on the drum line. So yeah, I grew up in North Tulsa, and I moved out west, moved out south. I've lived on 71st and Lewis. I've lived pretty much everywhere in Tulsa. Now I reside in Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas. So yeah.
Okay. How long have you been in Arkansas?
Off and on for the last maybe like 10 years, off and on.
Okay.
So I'll move to Tulsa, then I'll move back to Arkansas, then move back to Tulsa, and move back to Arkansas.
So tell us a little bit about growing up in Tulsa. How was it for you growing up in Tulsa?
Very. I seen. Speaking of it as a kid, or speaking of it as a Moor now, as a conscious Moor now, as a kid, um, very questioning on, very scared on, like, is this what I have to try to be? You know what I'm saying? Especially me being a fair skin complexion, is, do I have to do a little bit extra to fit the standard of, am I hard? Am I, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Am I gonna fit in? Am I luckily, and this is me speaking of past future tense and past tense, luckily no one ever took me serious. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, you know what I'm saying? Luckily, everybody was like, oh, this is just a pretty boy. And I ended up growing into being just a pretty boy, what you would call Mac or whatever. And I'm not proud of that. I have wife and kids. But this is, you fit, you always, my dad always told me, you have to fit somewhere. You can't try to be everything, man. You can't try to be can't try to be about it, down with the set, and then you can't try to mix up and try to do dibble and dabble with narcotics and stuff like that. You can't mix everything, because that's when you lead to destruction. So I found out who I was and stuck with it real fast. um growing up my dad did sit me down a lot out north. He was that one guy on the block that would go to the hospital, an actual, like, it's like everybody else would be. And I'm not jacking nobody, but we had a dude named Tex down the street, known crackhead. That would do. He would fix your lawn. He would fix your lawn mower. He would do a lot of stuff. Um, but we didn't have that many people in the neighborhood that were conscious. Is my point. And my dad went to the hospital. He went from out north to other parts of Tulsa, and was seeing how things were outside of out north, outside of Bartlesville, outside of, what I'm saying, because he traveled whenever he was in high school too, and he'd always sit me down and put me on Hidden Colors 1, 2, 3. He would always sit me down and he would tell me things that looking back at it, I'd be like, man, my dad is crazy. What is this man talking about? But he would say, we taught them how to take baths. And I said, hold on, man, pops. I'm half Albion, so I'm hybrid. Why are you telling me this? He was trying to low key drop the science on me, low key, because then I read about Moorish harems and Moorish bathhouses, and the Moors dang near, being like, please take a bath, so we'll help you, like we'll damn near teach you, and that's where it came from. So to everything that my parents were kind of instilling me as a kid slowly led up to more science, man. But I very much so was around waking up, going to the park across the street in the apartment complex, fights breaking out, boom, boom, boom. Um, I was a young guy, like 6 years old, maybe 7 years old, giving too much information to these people across the street to the apartment complex. A week later, my doors kicked in. People, I mean, my family can attest for this. I cannot tell a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a society or in a community where it was dog eat dog. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't notice as a kid. Like, I was very, oh, the ice cream truck's coming. Oh, okay. And hey, sis, you got some money? You know what I'm saying? Because I have an older sister that grew up in the same environment. So we kind of got desensitized until I started to read more. And I started to think, like, hold on. I really never learned about 1921 until maybe middle school. So maybe seventh grade, maybe sixth. Never really heard about it. And I was conscious at like a young age. I was really quiet until a certain age. So growing up out north, I seen the systematic saying all this, I do not blame anybody of melanin or of non-melanin growing up in a systematic oppression community. That's literally, yeah. I mean, I can get into the Jesuits and the Roman bureaucracy and all these democratic republic labels and all this stuff that's created to order and chaos. Old Masonic secrets, you know what I'm saying? The subjugation of the Moors in the Ivri. I was just watching a video about Taaraz Bey. We are the Moors and Ivri. That's the big secret. You know what I'm saying? And they can't give us the science because we would have to take air. So yeah, basically coming, all that come to say, as a kid, I was very desensitized adolescent. Growing up, kind of becoming a Moor, but then realizing I was already a Moor growing up, or as people would say, Moreno, Morisco, Moro, swarthy. Everyone that sees me from the Dominican, they say Dominicano, Dominican. No, they say, oh, black and white, black and white. Yeah, black and white. You know what I'm saying? So, well, with that being said, that's how I was really growing up. I had to either prove myself to be black enough, quote unquote, or prove myself to be quote unquote white enough. And all these are corporate fiction titles, legal statuses. Now that I know that, you know what I'm saying? So,
all right. So digging into that, okay, outside of your pops, you know what I mean, giving you certain jewels here and there, what made you take your own personal journey into seeking it? I know, I mean, okay, like you said, at one point you was like, all right, pops, you crazy. But then something inside of you was like, well, you know what? He might not be crazy.
Reading a lot, how do I put this? Stumbling upon Islam first. That was the first thing. See, and I'm not big on pushing like Malcolm X says, I leave my religion for my family. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the people now. When he came back from Mecca, I don't really push my religion into people's face, but Islam saved me. Like Islam saved me off the deep end, way off the deep end, trying to prove to be a corporate fiction character like they clone Tyrone. I'm gonna get into that later on. Trying to be damn near what society wants you to be as a black man. You know what I'm saying? Quote unquote. So going into that, it's kind of hard to explain because I started to read the Quran and then I started to pray a lot more. I started to get really religious, as they say. I didn't understand the cosmic and the science of it. I would say spiritual, but that means just to breathe in the art of breathing. But like you said, Akono, the Ediman, a lot of Abdullah's videos, when I would look up Islam and I would research the history of Islam, I ran into the Moors. And that's a key point. I looked up Islam. I didn't know nothing about Moorish science, Hebrew, nothing, Ivri, nothing. Looked up Islam, ran into the golden age of Islam, Almoravid, Almohads, all these things, caliphates, beautiful. The Alamo in Texas there's a common that people say it's a myth, but there's a common saying that the Almoravids and the Almohads were the kingdom of two shores, meaning a kingdom in Northwest Africa and a kingdom in North America or in South America that stretched into North America. So I started to read these things, and it just, and I don't like to use the word rabbit hole, but
yeah,
I mean, literature after, I mean, if I was to read pseudo intellectual books, maybe I wouldn't be wearing this fez, you know what I'm saying? But I vet everything, like I told Akono in private, and I've told my wife and other people. I wouldn't say this out loud to public, but I denied more science in Hebrew and I called it, pseudo, this is all, to fit a, how I put it, to fit a reality that fits every quote unquote melanated person. So I started to pray and just ask Allah, because Islamism is the science, is the spirituality, the religion, as they say today, which has to do a lot of politics and science, really. But I started to ask Allah, like, strike some wisdom on me. You know what I'm saying? Put something on me that has not been put on me before. And all of a sudden, I don't know, I just started to look, I just looked up Moorish. And then boom, you have a whole thing about Noble Drew Ali right then and there. When you look up Moorish nowadays, you have Noble Drew Ali. Back then, you probably had to search. But this was Islam, praying, this and that, religion. Looked up the Moors, or I really looked up, the Persians and all type of other people too. But I looked up the Moors. It just something striked my interest, like, chalices, silk, so many things that were economy wise. I don't want to get into the politics and the demographical type of things into the Moors and the history, but I started to connect a lot of things to what these common day Black people have in common with the Moors. I'm saying, and I started to realize, hold on, they are the Moors. My dad is a Moor. Hold on. So it started to connect. I looked up Moorish, then I looked up Moorish science. Found Taj Tariq Bey, Abdullah Bey, found you, Akono. I found, I have so much, like, all this is from, I found Umar whenever Umar wants to speak on the Moors. This is so many, how I put it, so many people, Rizza Islam, whenever they want to speak upon the Moors and they don't want to call themselves corporate fiction, Black people, which I have love for the Nation of Islam, but the people that I've talked to and I've debated with, they know. This is Taj Tariq Bey. This is my notes on. I don't know if y'all can see it properly. I probably need to cut off my but I can keep flipping. I have notes upon notes upon notes upon notes, and this was just one. This was, and I'm just showing you because you asked me. This was the night. I was like, hold on. I looked up more science. I looked up Moors, and then I found a video of Abdullah Bey, and then I found a video of Taj Tariq Bey, and I watched one lecture, and I kind of was just watching it cooking, and I really wasn't listening. So then I rewatched it, and I told my wife, "Hey, I need it was Moorish history, talking about Old Mexim, Olmec, one race, this and that, into nations." Carlos, and then this is Carlos Linnae. This is before Akono refreshed me in my new.
I was just gonna say that's crazy.
This is old, bro. I had to pull this out because this is old. I had this a long time ago, and this is talking about. Look, this is my first, when I first became Muslim. I'm talking about, like, I've never showed anybody this. All the 99 names of Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm just seeking, and one of the big things with these sheikhs, Mufti Mink told me through a video. Mufti Mink told me, write, read, because that's what Allah told Prophet Muhammad. So Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So I just started to write and read, and that's how I wouldn't say I'm not prominent. I'm not an expert on Moorish science, but when anybody tries to go on the adversary of it, no matter where they're at, if they're on the religion side of it, of the Moors and Islam and this and this and that, I got you. If they're on the historical side of it, okay, what do you want to know? Okay, the Moors weren't swarthy people. Are you claiming the Moors were quote unquote fair skinned people or quote unquote modern day Arabs? Well, modern day, you know what I'm saying? And then I can get into that. So reading, as you know, Noble Drew Ali said, the Europe, I believe he said he will make the Europeans start to tell the truth, or
make
something.
them confess. He will make them confess.
He will make them confess. So I started to watch Peter Moon and other people. Like there's this one, I don't want to say Nazi. There's an Nazi dude that makes videos, historical videos. I don't know his name, but he makes videos about the Moors, and he gets a lot of slack because he's a former Nazi. I mean Nazi. But a lot of his videos, and he's an Albion. A lot of his videos, he just gives the utter truth. I don't know if he's still alive yet. I will give you his name. I will give you his name in other videos. But there's also Jordan Maxwell. I've watched a conspiracy videos of him talking about this. People say conspiracy videos, but they're talking about the same thing Abdullah talks about. Why does everybody speak under this? Under this, they don't speak under this. You know what I'm saying? Why don't anybody speak under the Moorish seal? You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy. I was literally having a conversation with one of my coworkers about that.
He
was Albion.
I just started to do cashier work at my job, just looking at this like why isn't anybody talking about this? Like we have it, like we have more mounds over here in America. Whoa, hold on. We have more mounds over here.
So rare.
Why do we want to go over there when this is? So I started to order books.
World, yeah.
I started to just think, and I started to study geography, history. Everybody has history except ancient America. All of ancient America's history goes into the Smithsonian for some reason, or it gets fabricated and gets allocated to another group of people, and they just take it. I mean, it be excuse my broken English. It'd be damn near, excuse my English. It'd be damn near adversary to the people's oral history, and they'll still be like, "Oh, yeah, it's us." No, it's not. I'm sorry. It's just.
And then when we show the facts that it's not, and this ain't no hate thing that we're doing. We're just showing the fact. Hey, we've all been miseducated, but now we 100%. Are saying, "Hey, we want back what's ours," and they'll say, "Oh, black people are always trying to claim something. Black people are always trying to." We the only people that's been called Indian, Black, Negro, African American, Negroes, coloreds, etc. We the only ones been mislabeled so many times. But as I was listening to you, you made me think about when I first got started. All the notes that I was taking, listening to Taj, listening to Abdullah, listening to Cosmo Ill, listening to like I say, Khalid Muhammad, Brother Malcolm, Marcus Garvey, of course the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, you know what I'm saying? But study Moors. And once you come to me and say, what's next to study, I'll tell you to study yourselves.
Study yourself.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like you said in the beginning, Islam saved my life. If not for the Moorish science, I'd still be the same fool I was 11 years ago.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? And so all praises due to Allah. You know what I'm saying? All honors due to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And I say that sincerely.
Yes.
But I'm going back into my next question. And again, this is all freestyle, people. So nothing was scripted. This is all me and this brother having a real conversation with y'all. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. All right. So now let's talk about the literature that you got. You just pulled up a book. America is the old. What it said? America is the old world.
America is the True Old World by Amenhotep Chavez El Bey, and he is a from reading this, I believe he is a honorary 33rd degree Freemason, which learning, yes, honorary 33rd degree Mason, crown Knight of Kush, philosopher, metaphysician, author of 14 books, poet, paralegal, historian, researcher, and ghostwriter. So I, read this fellow Moorish brothers book and vetted it like sat up nights after nights with my MacBook, with my phone, talking to my wife. Hey, would this make sense? Just beam out. Shout out to Kush Day. So, I've just really I've went around to a lot of people, as people would say, non-knowing people, ignorant is the act of just not knowing. So I don't mean that to be rude when I say ignorant people from here on in the future, but I've went to ignorant people and I've tried to relay the science, and it's like something won't connect there. And respectfully, it's not meant to. But I'm going to thrift stores buying stuff like this. The Sacred Secret of the Maya, Egyptians, and Freemasons. And this talks about all of our science in here, all of it. But they misnomer it as Egyptians and all type of other things.
These modern labels that they put on the people.
These modern labels that they put on people. So it does get confusing sometimes. So like I started, like I said, Abdullah Bey, Taj Tariq Bey, Okono, Cosmo L2.
Yeah, I know that right there.
More Volume 1 and 2. I learned a lot from this book. European festivals, when people question me if the Moors were quote unquote black, no one's black. But if the Moors were quote unquote melanated, I pull up Saint Zortipede, all the Moros y Cristianos in Cuba, Moros y Cristianos, and many in Zacatecas, many or what we call Mexica or Mexican towns or country.
I was gonna say that even when you're dealing with certain locations, you have the Tomare. You know what I'm saying? You have the Mur in there, the Mar, the Moor, and you know what I'm saying? Example, when you deal with the Washita and you have Moore, Oklahoma, then you got the Washita, Wichita River. You know what I'm saying? Or you have a Moab, Utah, as I tell people. Or Moreland, I think it's in Illinois. But there's a town called Moreland somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I said, we don't here. They've been relabeled so many times.
The Moors been here. We have what? Cairo. Man, you know what? See, and this is not scripted, guys. This is not scripted. I wasn't going to, try to connect a lot of dots here. I was going to do an introduction, but I really wanted to be heard how I started to look up geographical things that you cannot deny. And people equate this to the Mormons, but this doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Mormons are Islamic. If the Mormons are Islamic, somebody just let me know now. You know what I'm saying?
Like the Mormons or the mermaid, the maid of the Moors, Mount Rushmore, the Russian of the Moors.
Joseph Smith knew what he was doing with that science. It's all what would Abdullah Bay say? It's all hijacked science. That's all it is. Shriner, all that stuff.
As he's taught me, the European has never created anything.
No,
they just copy it.
Yes, and I have no reason to say this. I'm fair skinned. Like this is true. Like it's on their pages. The Shriners literally have they say it's Moorish revival. I mean, like, come on. So I started looking up Moorish revival in America. There's Tampa, Florida. There's Moorish revival in Tampa, Florida. The Alamo. You can go look up the Alamo. They believe that it was built by the people of the descendants of the Almoravids or the Almohads. I don't know which one. I might be wrong on the caliphate. You might have to vet me. But as far as the geographical locations, like you were saying, there's Mecca, California, Medina, Washington, Chicago, like Taj Tariq Bey said, is our Mecca. They've just scrambled stuff around. You know what I'm saying? So there's Lebanon, New Hampshire, Damascus, Maryland, Baghdad, Florida, Alexandria, Virginia, Cairo, Illinois, Bethlehem, New Hampshire. So this is stuff that we brought. This is New Hampshire that we brought over there from Hampshire, from being nobles over there, getting kicked out, coming down, not being accepted by other. It's all backwards. They didn't go from Africa and take people to America. They took people from America to Europe, then put them back down to Africa, and then put them back to America. It's all hogwash. Is what a lot of people with a doctorate's degree would say. That's why people with their doctorate's degree just sit up in the house and shut up, and they take that money, and they don't really talk to people like that.
I know you pulled up Moorish revival, but you made me look. When you said you can look it up, you made me look it up, and so I wanted to show you what just popped up on the screen.
Oh yeah, Moorish architecture, all type of stuff in America.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying. Let me see, make sure that this
and around the world is what got me.
It say Moorish revival architecture, but then right here it say people also ask, what did the Moors build in America? Again, this isn't scripted. The New York City Center Mecca Temple. So the Moors built the New York City Mecca Temple in 1922.
And they're telling the truth, but here's where you get Masons. They'll tell the truth, but there's actually the Moorish Palace predates that, if I'm not mistaken, in Chicago. So yeah, I've seen in that the Chicago World Fairs is what got me like, hold on, this scrolling. Does that say Moorish Palace? Why are we not talking? Why don't we have a Moorish American month? What's this Black History Month? You know what I'm saying? Man, it's all hogwash, man. It's all pseudo intellectual science.
Or also when I read the treaty, not the treaty. Well, yeah, the treaty from the Peace and Friendship, but I meant to say the letter from George Washington to the Emperor of Morocco. When I read that, that was icing on the cake.
Oh, candles, icing, feed it to me. That's what that was. I mean, and I've read literature that said that they were in either Utah or a different state signing these things. It wasn't from they weren't going across the seas. And to support that, I have Morocco as it is today. It is Morocco as it is, page 266. A lot of people want to vet the knowledge, and this is written by Sir Juan Charles. I don't know this man. It's written in 1893, talking about a Sultan of America. So there's been a lot of, in these books that I've read, there's been a lot of Sultan of America talk, a lot, stretching back before 1776. I didn't want it to be. I didn't think that, hold on, there's stuff in America that is Islamic and Islamically inspired, like the Creek Confederate flag, the Creek and Muskogee Confederate flags. All of them have a crescent moon and star insignia. I mean, it's just it's too much. It's entirely too much. The Shriners, the Masons. A Mason greeted me with "Assalamu alaikum" with this on. A week after I, watched a video of Abdullah Bey saying that they greet each other and "Assalamu alaikum." And I used to have a Masonic ring until I learned the actual science of what they've taken. So I want to order myself now a Masonic ring, but with the 7 inside of it, because that's our science. It's not theirs. The G, I'll drop a little bit. The letter G is the 7th letter, but that's not their science. They can only be pinned down 33 degrees. So all that being said, I went from just Islam to Moorish science to learning the occult, and I'm still learning the occult as of today, learning their symbolisms and their, insignias and stuff. So,
You made me think. I'm working on my part 2 of the Theories of Race series, and it follows into my continuation of the Francis Bernard 1684, the race concept. You know what I'm saying? Black, white, red, yellow, brown people. But yeah. And so last night I was reading, the guy's name is John Hunter, and I believe I'm gonna pull it up. I believe it was 1700s though. Cause what I just read from Google was the 1900s, where they acknowledged the Moors, 1922. So this is further back. You know what I'm saying? And in 1775, make sure I got this up to. I want the people to see this. 1775, John Hunter broke the people into 6 different color statuses: black, sub-black, copper, red, brown, and light brown. Well, light brown is Spanish, so seven categories. But in his second one, so in 1775, in this man's book, the inaugural dissertation on the varieties of man, 1775, under sub-black, he put the Moors of Northern Africa. So in so this European is writing about us and dehumanizing us, denationalizing us, putting us in this label. So you're gonna have what's over. We're gonna be teaching the people. That's what they need, though.
No, for real. We all need it at this point, man. It's so much indoctrination.
They like, we can't see y'all books. Y'all gotta fix our background.
Psyops.
But yeah, because I busted open. But matter of fact, let's bust it open.
I just got a Winston dictionary. It's a pretty old one. Not that old, but it's pretty old. And I was looking up the word "more" in here and stuff like that when I first picked it up in the thrift store.
Yeah, all right. So the law enforcement, of course, but for the viewers, the system deals with code statutes and ordinances. You know what I'm saying? Not law, because law is constitutional. Law deals, and the Constitution deals with treaties. And so ain't no treaty for black folk or white people. There's no such people. But Black's Law Dictionary. Going to the black codes. Y'all can't see it because I know my background, but going to the black codes. And so again, 1700, placing the Moors as sub-black. This is why you had the black Moors. They knew who we were.
Mm-hmm.
And then eventually they stripped off the Moor and left us as black. So this is this paradigm of 339 years of dehumanizing and denationalizing the indigenous people on the planet.
Yes.
339 years. But black codes, a name given collectively to the bodies of law, statutes, and rules and forces in various southern states prior to 1865.
Mm-hmm.
That supposedly happened in 1865. Emancipation Proclamation. Supposedly freeing the so-called slaves. Or what slave is dealing with the Slovakian people. Slave is dealing with Europe, you know what I'm saying? So who did he free if they were supposedly freed?
Yeah.
But that's another subject for another time. But go ahead, brother. Like you had something you wanted to go.
You said something about black codes. There's over time been through the Roman, now it's a church. It used to be the Roman Empire. And when the Moors were dealing with Rome, it was beginning to be what it is today. Let's just say that. Black codes. This is coming from from the United States Corporation. Black codes restricted black people's right to own property, conduct business, buy and lease land, and move freely through public spaces, not Jim Crow, which enforced racial segregation. However, there's been many Moorish codes that have been misnomer black codes. There's been, as Akono dropped on me about, about a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago, Christian black codes introduced by the France in 1685 and in 1724 adopted by the U.S. Library of Congress, Louisiana Code Noir, or Slave Code. 55 articles regulated the status of slave and free blacks, as well as relations between masters and slaves. So around that time, 1724, you have a lot of people that are, and a lot of people ask me these questions. How do these people do not know that they are Moors? Through the subjugation of Moors, as the Shriners would say, the Moabites,
Mm-hmm.
the Moorish prince or the Moorish king, meaning the Father, Son, Holy Spirit,
Niagara Falls was them beheading the mothers, and they called them witches.
You would have a son that doesn't know he said, I will your kutikinde, you're Toby, you know what I'm saying? You're Toby. So all this is lining up to be, if you can take the meat, throw out the bones, or real they're not lying.
That's why it's called a government name, because it's not your name.
They're not lying. They're telling you the truth, but you have to see the truth for what it is. Like Taj says, no emotion. Like Abdullah says, no emotion. See the truth for what it is. Wake up. So the Moorish Sundry Act of 1790, that's what, like you said, put the icing on the cake for me. A lot of people were shipped to Liberia. So people's question is this. Okay, if these people are Moors, why people today don't know that they're Moors? So my response is this. You expect a couple people to keep, which a lot of people did, keep an oral history of them being Moors or Moriscos or Morenos running from runaways, Seminoles, in a sense. They would amalgamate in these tribes, then these tribes turned on them, put them as slaves, and bam, bam, bam. That's how you get a freedman Cherokee like my dad. Simple. That's how you get a freedman Cherokee. Is they're actually Cherokees amalgamated in these tribes, in these people turned on them for reservations, for to reserve land. They turned on their own people, their own brothers and sisters, to reserve land. And this comes from the Algonquin conquest of 11,500 years ago. This comes from really us Moors being upstanding people in history. This is why they wipe us from history, because we had so many trade routes from so many different people that they had to create these admiralty laws, these maritime laws on sea and on land that Moors would never, as you said, rise again. Why do they not want the Moors to rise again? We created our own downfall. Sadly. We start like Noble Drew Ali said. Hold on, and I don't want to get this wrong, and I'm gonna be very short with this. Like,
yeah, you looking it up though. I wanna agree with you, because you're 1,000% right. You know, it was us that caused our own downfall. You know, those so-called, I was talking to a brother today, those so-called 5 civilized tribes, because I'm 3 of them.
Yeah,
I'm Creek, Cherokee, and Choctaw.
Yeah,
and I know the history of. We'll give you a couple rifles, give us some beaver fur, give us some corn, give us some crop. I know the border system, the trade system. I know that there were tribal wars before the Pilgrims came. Just like the Crip and Blood thing, the BD, GD thing, all that, you know what I'm saying? We've been feuding amongst our own. We caused our own downfall.
And the Moors in the kingdom, or as I should say, the Moors in the hold on. The Moors in the kingdom is getting late. Excuse me. I've been at work since 6 a.m. The Moors in the kingdom, not in Almagrib or Aqsa, not here, over there. They went into Spain and we went into Spain, and honestly, we set a narrative there that we were very, I don't want to say superior, but that's the only word I can think of. That we were very superior, meaning these are books written by non-pseudo intellectuals, people that have real bachelor's, masters, PhDs. But I'm gonna name a few. We set a narrative, meaning barbarian cruelty, an eyewitness account of slavery under the Moors. White cargo, that's another book. White slaves, Muslim masters, that's another book. They were white and they were slaves, that's another book. So when I speak about when I speak about
not to cut you off, and I apologize, but also my background, White by Law, is a book. That's not something I put together. That's an actual book.
Actual book.
I yield. Go ahead, brother.
No. And going into this, like you said, there's a man, and I'm glad you said something, because all we can do is build. There's a man named not Carlos Linnaeus, but what's his name? Oh, Johann Friedrich Blumenbach.
Johann Friedrich Blumenbach. Yes. Johann Friedrich Blumenbach.
He gave Caucasian the title white. And off of an esoterical occult knowledge, white is illumination in a sense. It is white light going into a prism and getting continuous spectrums of light. So truly the only beings that have what they call mitochondrial DNA is commonly found in the Great Moabites. So with all this being said, cult, religion, their oppression on Muslims, and somebody in a Muslim brother told me back in the day, the worst thing to be in America is a black Muslim, man. They gonna come after you every time. And I said, what the hell is this man talking about, man? I was working at Tulsa Airport. It's like, man, this man just talking about. What the hell is this man talking about? Then I'm thinking, to be a black Muslim or Moorish American in America is the most threat.
It is, and it is, because when you look at the reality, all right, when we were young and you see all the stuff about Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, Muammar Gaddafi. They painted this picture of them as if they were these evil people. You know what I'm saying? Because they were Muslim. But then when you become a Muslim, watch this. Abayame, come here. Watch this. This is going to be my 9-year-old. And she been on this since she was 3.
Yeah.
What does Islam mean? No.
Wait, Islam?
Yeah. Say it loud. Look, she over having a brain fart. Not Abayami. No, I don't want the 5 principles. What's the 5 principles?
Not to be from justice.
Okay, what does Islam mean? Islam means.
Islam.
Anywho, we know Islam means peace. She's supposed to know that, so she just made me look silly, but it's all good though. Yeah, my baby, she's smart.
No, all we do is learn. All we do is learn. Man.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, she know that. You know what I mean? So when you study Islam and you find out Islam means peace, Islam is not about hate as they try to promote it. When you look at the reality, it's the Christians who went around slaughtering, murdering, touching on children. You know what I'm saying? I had to think of how I was going to say that. But you know what I mean? When you think about the reality, and they'll try to say, oh, well, Muslims were marrying young girls. Man, that's what they want you to believe.
This is, and I say this a lot, what people don't understand is what the oppressor does is they'll pick up this phone, throw it at you, and whoever they want to oppress, and this is whoever you mad at. People do this in real life without knowing that they're being or that they're harboring oppressive tendencies or narcissistic tendencies or however you want to, whatever title or label you want to put it. But if I pick up this phone and throw it at somebody I don't like, and I want to oppress this person that I don't like, and I say, oh, so and so else did, that's exactly what they do. It's called proxy war. That's exactly what they do every time. They continuously make us fight each other while they steal identities, meaning Shriner, Mason, Yahudi, Jewish, all this stuff, stolen identity. I can tell you exactly who all these people are: Greeks, Romans, Khazari people. Persian people that can trace their lineage all the way back to Nimrod. So they come from Moorish descent, but they're Albion hybrid mixed, and they look Albion. But a lot of these Albions tell you, I come from Moors. A lot of them will tell you, man. You just like that one woman wearing that Moorish brooch, and she got called racist for wearing they called it a black brooch. Man, when I used to be like, man, that's racist. When I started to look into this, I said, oh shit, excuse my language. She's trying to tell us something. She look Albion right now because a lot of Moors had to bleaching themselves out and become Moreno and become crypto Islam. Google it, crypto Islam, crypto Jew. The original ones, the ones that I can find old books
Yeah.
Old books from 1700s, 1600s, 1800s talking about these black Jews keep their wives locked up. These black Jews moves as gypsies and they deny the New Testament. They just keep these black Jews went into becoming Mohammedans now. The Moors all through and throughout. So yeah, bro, it just all of it connected. The whole like if more science is prominent, I wouldn't. If more science wasn't prominent, I wouldn't have stumbled upon it as much as I have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. On that, man, I want to say, like the sister said, we're gonna end it, but our DNA records, you know, and there was something inside of us that already knew we were Moors. As a lot of us that come into the information, we were already Moors. We were labeled Black, Negro, Colored, African. You know, we didn't know, but we were already that, and so we're coming back into the light of who we were, whether it been past tense or in today's time. You cannot change who you were in the past. You know what I'm saying? You are who your ancestors were.
Correct.
If anybody want to build with you, brother, on some study information, how can they reach out to you?
Man, I'm on every platform. If you just look up Taaraz El Mukbir Saeed, you can just look up Taaraz. You're gonna find me. I'm on every single platform. I used to do a lot of music, so a lot of people know me as T Seals. So right now, I've been trying to find how I put it, a basis to start with the content and with like Okono's doing, having people on and building with them. I want to have this brother as well on my platform as well, so we can build. But if you just simply type into Roz, everything will pull up: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I don't do Snapchat. Um, I don't do X. I don't do Twitter. I just do those. And I'm about to start streaming on Kick or Twitch, one of those two. As I'm doing this, I'm a dual stream on Twitch or Kick. I don't know which one yet. We're gonna see which one. Let's say we're gonna see which one doesn't censor as much.
Right, yeah. And on that note, man, I appreciate you, my brother. And then I like how you slid the music thing in there at the end. We supposed to got into that, but we're gonna get you on another one. We're gonna talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Slowly. That's the whole music and frequency and vibration. The cult behind it is a whole podcast. I mean, in itself, a whole discussion in itself.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
So we'll get into that. You know what I mean? But make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man. Make sure y'all leave a comment if y'all have any questions y'all want to ask the brother, or if the brother shared anything that y'all may want to know, or those books. If y'all are curious about the books he shared, leave a comment. And on that note, we're going to catch y'all again on the next one, family. Peace and love to y'all.
Peace and love.